Hello everybody, it's SpiderKid8000 back here again with another action figure review. This time we're going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Extremis Iron Man from the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave. Now, let's get into this. From the minute I saw promo pictures of this figure, I was super hyped. I've always loved this figure. I've always loved this Iron Man design. By far my favorite Iron Man armor. And I have a lot of emotional attachment to this version of Iron Man. I will explain that later. But let's get into the meat of the matter, where you came here to see the actual review. But first, let's get into what you didn't come to see, me reviewing a piece of cardboard. Let's get into it. Iron Man Extremis, right there. Got a nice digital image of the figure right there. Plastic-free packaging. I hate these new packaging so much. It's just a big scam to get you to buy more than one figure because your figure is messed up. But that's a story for another day. Got warning, small parts, Marvel's Avengers, Hasbro. Right here, we have some really nice artwork by, I can't remember who it's by. He was a concept artist on the first Iron Man movie. I can't remember what his name is. If you know what his name is, put it in the comments down below. But we got a really nice picture of Extremis Iron Man right here. Marvel Legends series. Then we got a picture of the Build-A-Figure Puff Adder. He does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece, so you don't need to get this guy if you want to build Puff Adder, but I don't really care because I just wanted Iron Man. I don't care about Puff Adder. And you see the other names of the figures in this game. We've got Molecule Man, Baron Von Strucker, Lena Belova, Marvel's Wonder Man, Marvel's Orb, and Ultimate Captain America. You got all of this information down here, all the stuff. Then you got a picture of Iron Man in that famous Iron Man pose. Iron Man Extremis, Marvel Legends. Then you got a picture of the accessories that he comes with, and that's pretty much it. That's all is to the box. But again, you didn't come to see me review a piece of cardboard. You came to see me review a piece of plastic. So, let's get into the figure. And here he is, everyone. Iron Man Extremis. And holy crap, this figure is amazing. Let's get into some of the gritty details, okay? Let's start off with the overall design of the Extremis costume. Now, I always have loved the Extremis design for Iron Man. I think it's cool. I think it's tactical, sleek looking. And this figure really captures the artwork quite well. Get that nice triangular Iron Man logo. And the back of this, the whole sculpt all around is very, very good. To zoom in here. So yeah, the whole sculpt is very good. You can see it a little better now. I especially love the head on this suit. Looks super cool, looks simplistic, but at the same time complicated. I know it doesn't make sense, but it does to me. Yeah, I love the way it looks. I love how the head's a little bigger on this figure, almost as if, like, you know, there's actually a human head inside it. Yeah, and all around, the sculpt and paint apps on this guy are pretty good. I love the design. I love all the gridding and panels. This looks super good. I also love these calves, how they're just super defined and stuff. I also really like that. And of course, these little things on the side here, where they could swivel around for more articulation at the hips, which is nice. And now let's come to the kind of controversial part of this figure, the flaps right here. So, just for a little comparison, the flaps on the original, or at least like the shoulder pads or something, on the original Extremis Iron Man figure, were kind of different than this. I have original Extremis Iron Man figure right here. You can see on this one, they're kind of like held together by like a peg, so they swiveled around and stuff, which allowed for more range of movement, and it didn't bend the plastic or anything. I say that as it falls off, but yeah, anyway, it allowed for a lot of range of movement, and it didn't bend the plastic or anything or affect the look of the figure. This one, they did it a little more controversial. I have to admit, I like the way the other one did it better. Because you see, if this is like probably one of my only gripes with this figure. If you move the arm up too high, place it back down, the shoulder pad is like almost stretched out to the side, and it looks kind of weird. But if you just hold it down for long enough, it should just pop right back into place. But I understand that is a problem that some people are having with it. And it kind of prohibits you from putting this guy in like those flying poses, or like pose where he has his arms up for too long, because then you can just bend the plastic permanently. So yeah, that is a bit of a gripe. I do wish they did it how they did it on the original figure, but then again, it's such a small gripe for such a very good figure. So yeah, this is all very, very good. The sculpt is great. I love all the details. Looks very nice, and a very good interpretation of the artwork in plastic. Now let's get into the second part of this, the paint job. Now, the paint on this figure again, a little controversial. It's not appearing here on screen, but the red is kind of faded. It's kind of more of a dark, muted red, and I get how some people don't like that, how they want more of a how they want more of a bright red, and I understand that. However, if you look at the original artwork, it is this kind of red. It's not a bright red, it's more of a muted red. I personally prefer the brighter red, but honestly, I don't really care that much, but I guess some people do, and if you don't like your muted red, you might want to skip this figure, but still, I think it's great. It's not a big problem. I think it looks perfectly fine. But then another good part of this figure is the gold. I absolutely love the shade of gold. It's really metallic looking and so well quality painting. Oh, this looks so great. Yeah, so you can see the gold there, gold on his mask. Oh, looks all so good. I love that. The gold is probably one of my favorite parts of this figure. It just looks so gold and like, metal looking. I love it. Another thing about this figure that is noteworthy is that I've heard people complaining about it as well. But if you look in the eyes, you can see that the eyes are not white. They are actually yellow. And I hear a lot of people complaining about this, but I actually prefer it to white. I think the yellow looks way cooler and more retro looking to like, classic Iron Man. Same thing with the arc reactor. Same, kind of yellowish tone. I like it. I don't understand why people don't like it. But yeah, the paint apps on this figure are pretty few and far between. Most of it is red, which the plastic is already molded in. Now, I had seen some people on the internet complain about the marbleized plastic that they used for this figure. For me, I did not get too many instances of marbling, except for here on the back here. There is a few marbling incidents on there, but really nothing that noticeable. The chest piece is fine, the head is fine, so really, I'm not complaining about it. So yeah, all around this figure aesthetically looks fantastic. It's just so true to the original artwork, and I love it so much. And unlike the previous figure that we got, he actually looks well proportioned, like a human being. Like this guy, I'm sorry, what kind of human body fits inside this thing? I could realistically see this, armor fitting onto a human person. It just looks so good. Oh, I just love this figure so much. This is definitely my crown jewel of Iron Man right here. So good. Now let's get into articulation. The articulation on this guy is pretty good. He does everything that you expect him to do. He's not like any Spider-Man Renew Your Vows stuff, but still, the articulation on this guy is very good and very satisfactory. He looks up to about that much. He does not look up that much or look down. Doesn't look down that much. So yeah, and also another part of this figure that is a bit disappointing is the ab crunch. The ab crunch does not go too far. It goes very far back, but it doesn't go too far in the front because of this little plastic bit right there. But to be honest, I don't need my Iron Man crouching down or anything so like that. That's the way I'm displaying him. So yeah, and you got a classic double jointed pinless. I love that. Yeah, he has pretty much the standard articulation that you'd expect. You get a really good range of motion. Out of all of the joints, at least what you need for, for the Iron Man pose or for a flying pose. It's nothing crazy, pretty much just your standard Hasbro Marvel Legends articulation, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be anything more because it's just your standard articulation. You're not going to be putting Iron Man in crazy poses like you would Spider-Man. So overall, articulation is very good. Yeah, it's very good. Articulation is very good on this guy. Now let's get into his accessories. Now this guy does come with practically no accessories. This is probably one of the most disappointing aspects of this figure. He comes with two alternate hands, open palm hands, and their repulsors are empty, so you could put these two blasts effects in there. And that's all the guy comes with. It's a little disappointing, especially because it's getting out of focus there. I really do wish that this guy came with an unmasked Tony Stark head, because the artist who drew Extremis did this very distinct looking Tony Stark, looking looking face. He had a very unique vision for how Tony Stark looked, and I just wish we could have gotten a sculpt of that, because it would just look so good. There are some head swaps that you can do with this figure that do look pretty good from certain angles, but I just wish he came with a head. Because overall, he practically comes with no accessories, and this guy costs $24. And he comes with like 4 accessories, and that's including alternate hands. So I really wish that he came with an alternate head. That would have been really nice. Also, another thing, I wish he had came with 4 sets of these blast effects, so you could put them on the hands and on the shoes, but you have to do it either way now, which is a little disappointing. But yeah, that's all the guy comes with. Nothing really to say here. Definitely the worst part of this figure is that he has practically no accessories. So, yeah, but if you have a Tony Stark head at home, you could easily do a head swap, so we'll get into that later. Now let's get into the reason I like this figure so much, or the reason I like Extremis Iron Man so much. It's because of this guy right here. Now, if you're wondering what this beat-up old Iron Man is doing here, this is a Marvel Legends Extremis Iron Man. This is the Extremis Iron Man that I had as a kid. I got this one year, I think for Christmas, and he was my favorite toy when I was a kid, when I was a little kid, like 5 years old. And I played with him so much, as you can obviously tell. He can't even stand up anymore. But I just loved this guy so much. And because of this guy, this suit and this, version of Iron Man has become so ingrained in my mind. It is definitely my favorite version of the Iron Man armor. This guy, he was my favorite toy, for sure, and he holds a very special place in my heart. Oh, no, are you okay? He holds a very special place in my heart, so that's why when I heard they were making an updated version, I was so excited. And yeah, this is definitely a worthy successor to this guy. He will, even though he's outdated and has wonky looking articulation and wonky looking, proportions, this guy is still very special to me and definitely one of my favorite figures of all time, just because of the emotional attachment. And if you want a comparison next to a newer version of the figure I just showed you, here's that. So how they look together. This guy's significantly shorter, and this guy's actually pretty tall. He's I'll show you some size comparisons later, but this guy's pretty short, so he's kind of out of scale. But this guy is definitely in scale. Now let's show you some size comparisons. Here is him alongside the 20th anniversary Hulk. Here is him alongside first appearance Black Panther. Here is him alongside the second best Spider-Man of all time, Renew Your Brow Spider-Man. Here is him alongside the best Spider-Man of all time, first appearance Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. And now we have the comparison of the first Marvel Legends Iron Man and the latest Marvel Legends Iron Man. And now finally, here is a head swap that I made with the Marvel MCU 10 years Tony Stark, packaged with Mark 1. I swapped his head out and gave it to Extremis Iron Man. I think it looks pretty darn good. A little small, but I don't know. I think it kind of works. Still wish it came with its own head, though. And so, guys, that wraps up my review of the Marvel Legends Extremis Iron Man 2.0. Now, I think... Now, this is tricky. There are a lot of good Marvel Legends Iron Man figures out there. Like, there's the 20th anniversary one, which I think looks really good. There's the 80th anniversary one. And, of course, there's all of the other MCU ones that are really good. However, I think this is the best one yet. And just because I have such love for this armor, I have such love for the character of Iron Man, and I honestly think the Extremis Iron Man from the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave is the best Iron Man Marvel Legends figure ever made. For now, at least. And that wraps it up, guys. Comment down below, what's your favorite Iron Man figure? What do you think of this one? Do you think this head swap is any good? And let me know about any other figures that I should do reviews of. I'm looking out for I'm trying to find the Ultimate Captain America, but right now it's not in stock anywhere. If you know a place where it isn't in stock, comment about it, because I would really like to get that figure. Okay, guys, that's it. This is SpiderK8000, signing off.